Hello everybody, Richard here with CRG Games. Hope you're having a good one. My best friend let me borrow his Magda CEDH deck to do a video with, and this thing is very strong. I've played against it a handful of times, and I don't think I've actually won against this deck yet. It's just too fast, essentially. So let's go through this, and I'll show you how it works. The first few cards here are basically for the win con, how it gets done, so I'll show you those later. Let's run through what we've got here. We've got Karn, the Great Creator. Basically everything in this pile here is to support or get to the win con. So we got Sticky Fingers, Bad Moon, Underworld Breach, Gamble, Vandal Blast. There's going to be a lot of things in here to either make mana, make treasure tokens, draw cards, anything of that nature that helps you get to it sooner. So we got a Burnout, Valakut Awakening, Red Elemental Blast. I love the Elemental Blast spells because for 1 mana at instant speed, you can, in this case, counter a blue spell or destroy a blue card in play. And there's a blue Elemental Blast as well. They're just very strong. Ricochet Trap, Chaos Warp will get rid of stuff. Final Fortune. If you're playing Final Fortune, the game's probably over for the opponent. Thrill of Possibility will draw cards. You find some prisoners, can destroy stuff. Deflecting Swat will allow you to choose new targets for a spell or ability. Then you got Fork, does the same thing. Actually, you copy, I believe. Any one sorcerer instant spell just cast is duplicated, yes. Treat Fork as an exact copy of the target spell, except it remains red. Caster of Fork chooses the copy's target. Then you got Pyroblast, is a counter spell. A Braid will kind of blow stuff up or destroy stuff. Arcane Signet, Ruby Medallion, Tangle Wire. A lot of things in here. This is a Mycosynth Lattice. And basically, it makes everything colorless. Then we got Bloodline Pretender. The important thing about this is it is a dwarf that is an artifact, and you'll see why that's important later. We got Jeweled Lotus. We got Mox Opal. Chrome Mox, getting some of that pricey stuff there. Idol of Oblivion. Defense Grid. We got a Soul Ring. It's revised. Ashnod's Transmogrant. That can make a dwarf an artifact. Paradise Mantle, get you some mana. We got Treasure Map, Lotus Petal, Sensei's Divining Top, it's an OG. Liquid Metal Coating, this will also make a dwarf an artifact. Springleaf Drum, it's for mana. Mana Vault, it's for mana. Liquid Metal Coating will make a dwarf an artifact. We got Mox Amber. And for creatures, we got Imperial Recruiter. This is going to allow you to search out a dwarf. We got Zorn for extra treasure tokens. Metallic Mimic will be an artifact dwarf. We got Magus of the Moon. This really hits people hard. It shuts them down, including my decks. I really don't like Magus of the Moon or Blood Moon, but they're commander legal, so you got to play around them. Vault Robber, Goblin Welder. Dwarven Miner that's from Mirage. We got Bloodfire Dwarf, that's a foil from Apocalypse. Dwarven Armorer from Fallen Empires. Really testing my old set symbol knowledge here. Dwarven Blood Boiler from Judgment. We got Goblin Matron from Modern Horizons. Axguard Cavalry, this is from Kaldheim. As you can see, the theme is dwarves. It's almost dwarf tribal. And we got Spark Mage. It's from Odyssey. It's a foil. Enslaved Dwarf from Torment. Liberated Dwarf from Judgment. Did these come out after another? 99 to 2002. Sorry, 93 to 2002. 2002. I believe Liberated Dwarf came out after, or was it before? I can't remember which way these come out, but it would make sense if maybe Enslaved Dwarf came first and then Liberated Dwarf came second. Dwarven Blast Miner, destroying target non-basic lands. That kind of hurts. Dwarven Trader, just a 1/1 for 1. And Dwarven Grunt, a 1/1 for 1, but with Mountain Walk. That can be rough. All right, then we have our lands, and then treasure token there at the back. So in here, we've got Scalding Tarn. There's going to be a few fetches, a lot of basics. Cavern of Souls. Of course, you want to use that for dwarves. Survivor's Encampment. And we got Blast Zone. Mesa, Gemstone Caverns. You can start with that on the battlefield if you are lucky. Then you got a mountain. Maze of Ith. Another fetch. Bloodstained Mire. Basic. Great Furnace is great because it taps for a red mana, but it's also an artifact, which is important. Treasure Vault. Urza's Saga, which is enchantment land, lets you search out an artifact when you get to 3. Scavenger Grounds. And you got Mountain Walk. I'm sorry, Mountain and Mountain. Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx. You're going to have a lot of red devotion, so this is going to produce a lot of mana. We got Mountain, Barbarian Ring from Odyssey, Strip Mine to destroy target land. Ouch. Prismatic Vista, Dwarven Mine, which also counts as a mountain, so you can search for that. War Room, Mountain, Inventor's Fair, and Holdout Settlement. And if I'm going a little bit fast for you, feel free to pause the video, and you can look up the cards and stuff. There will be a deck list available here in the description. So we got Karn the Great Creator as well. Activated abilities of artifacts your opponents control can't be activated. Again, just about everything in here is to support the win con and also hurt your opponents as far as like slowing them down, making sure that you're countering their spells, things like that in mono red. So it's very interesting. It is a strong deck. So let me show you basically, how you win with this. So we've got Magda out. I'm going to put Terror of the Peaks and Altar of the Brood. So these are the win cons. And then we've got CLOUDSTONE Curio, Dockside, Universal Automaton, and Clock of Omens. So basically what you're going to do here, we're going to do the bottom one first, is Clock of Omens says tap 2 untapped artifacts you control, untap target artifact. And Magda says whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, create a treasure token. So in this case, Universal Automaton, it's a dwarf. So I'm going to tap Universal Automaton and Clock of Omens to Clock of Omens ability. Then I'm going to untap Universal Automaton because the second part here is untap target artifact. Now Magda triggers and I create a treasure token. So now I can tap 2 untapped artifacts you control, Universal Automaton, treasure token, and then untap target artifact. I'm going to untap Universal Automaton, Magda triggers, I create an additional treasure token that is now untapped. And then you're just going to keep doing that. Keep doing that. Keep doing that. Eventually you're going to have infinite mana. And you're going to have infinite treasure tokens, I should say. And with Altar of the Brood out, whenever another permanent, aka treasure token, enters the battlefield, each opponent puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So in this route, you're going to mill everybody out. In the other route, we don't need Clock of Omens now, but we need something like Dockside and Universal Automaton. So now what you're going to do is if you got, let's say, Terror of the Peaks out, and CLOUDSTONE Curio, and maybe like a Dockside or Universal Automaton. Let's say Universal Automaton, for example. You're going to play Dockside Extortionist. That triggers CLOUDSTONE Curio. But the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put its ability on the stack. You're going to create X treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts and enchantments your opponents control. So hopefully you're probably going to get a couple of those. And then you can bounce Universal Automaton back to your hand. Now, at this point, you should have probably 3 or 4 treasure tokens now on the battlefield. You're then going to cast Universal Automaton. In this case, you're going to layer your triggers again. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it's going to deal damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So now you're going to ping somebody or something for 1 damage. Cloudstone will trigger. You're going to bring this back to your hand, and then you're going to repeat. You're going to cast Dockside, trigger, trigger, bounce, boom. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you're just going to ping everybody and everything with Terror of the Peaks for game. So those are the 2 main win cons in this deck. And like I said, everything in this deck supports getting this stuff out. And it's kind of neat because Magda says sack 5 treasures. So if you don't have Terror of the Peaks out, but you do have the treasures, you can sack 5 treasures, search your library for an artifact or dragon, put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So it searches for its own win con. Like, Magda is super strong. The deck is super fast, and it's very hard to win against. If you'd like to build this deck, the deck list will be in the description. I'm going to do it through probably MTG Goldfish, and then you can, of course, change things and go from there and do it how you would like to do it. You can add or subtract cards, but for the most part, you're going to need a lot of artifacts and artifacts that can make dwarves artifacts. And I mean, you're probably really going to need some of the, you're going to need the main cards in the win con condition section of cards. But other than that, I mean, you can switch some things out. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will have a price for this deck as well in the description. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I do know it's pretty expensive because there's some, there's pricey stuff in here. So again, feel free to make changes. It's just, if you make changes, it may not be as fast and it may not be quite as powerful. And if you got suggestions, feel free to put those in the comments as well. My buddy said that he is happy to have feedback, and we would love to see what you guys think. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, I'll catch you later.